Hello, I Dr. Vinita, MPT Ortho, and this video is start from the doses for TENS and the electrode placements. And if you want to learn the mechanism for the TENS, you can check my previous video in Physiotherapy Junoon channel. Okay. First we proceed before we proceed to the doses of TENS electrodes or placement, we should know about the neurotransmitters. The neurotransmitters affect are mediated by many neurotransmitters like including opioids, serotonin and acetylcholine, okay, norepinephrine and gamma aminobutyric acid. Low but not high frequency TENS has been shown to involve like opioids and these receptors. High but low frequency TENS has been shown to involve opioids receptors and reduce aspartate and glutamate level in the spinal cord. Whether these mechanisms translate into clinically meaningful differences in pain outcome in human is a matter for debate. Studies like using pain-free volunteers have shown that TENS is hypoglycemia. Hypoalgesia is greater than with the same TENS, but the relationship between pulse frequency and outcome is equivocal. Now we proceed to the clinical application. The clinical application, the type of pulse current waveform used in TENS devices vary between manufacturers. Different manufacturers varies the TENS waveform. Generally, these can be divided into monophasic, biphasic waveform. If the TENS device is delivered a monophasic pulse wave, the cathode should be placed proximal to the anode. In my last video lecture, you see how cathode work, how anode work, and how their placements. This is because the cathode activates the axonal membrane, leading to an exchange potential, and placing the anode proximal could block nerve transmission due to hyperpolarization. The cathode is usually but not always the black lead. Many TENS devices use biphasic waveform, thereby the cathode and anode alternate between the two electrodes during stimulation. Biphasic waveform, which result in zero net current flow, may prevent the buildup of ion concentrations beneath electrodes and reduce adverse skin reaction due to polar concentrations. This study is done by the Cantor et al. In 1994 and Walsh in 1997. Electrode positioning with these biphasic waveform is less critical given the zero net DC element, and therefore orientation of positive negative is not thought to make any significant clinical difference in biphasic condition, but in monophasic condition it will differentiate. So we proximally put the anode. Okay, one clinical application I studied that all new TENS patients should be given a supervised trial of TENS. Okay, and this ensure that TENS does not aggravate pain, will provide an opportunity to troubleshoot problem arising from poor response. In the first instance, we apply the conventional TENS is administrative because it is commonly used by long-term TENS patients. An early review of progress can serve to ensure a correct application, provide further instruction, and to recall TENS devices which are no longer required. Electrodes should be positioned on sensate skin or relevant dermatomes. Usually tense paresthesia is directed into painful area, although this is not appropriate if tactile allodynia is present because tense may aggravate the pain. What is the allodynia? Allodynia is when your body produces pain when touches. Okay, like आपको कोई भी सनबर्न हुआ है और वहाँ पे आपको कोई टच कर रहा है, जो पेन प्रोड्यूस होता है दैट इज़ एलोडाइनिया. सो टेंस की आप प्लेसमेंट ऐसे करोगे कि वहाँ पे पैरेस्थीसिया प्रोड्यूस हो, ना कि एलोडाइनिया. ओके, सो फॉर अप्रोप्रिएट सेगमेंट्स, how you select the waveform? How you select the waveform? All waveform are capable of activating peripheral nerves. If there is you want to place the TENS therapy for peripheral nerves, all the waveform are eligible. Symmetrical biphasic waveform pose the least risk for skin reactions. Monophasic waveform are most appropriate for wound healing. Asymmetrical balanced biphasic waveform may be more useful to stimulate small muscle groups. Monophasic and symmetrical biphasic waveform generate greater torque with muscle contraction and were less fatigue than polyphasic waveform. And most of the sports physiotherapists use this technique to treat the athletes because they want the good result in short duration. Electrodes should be positioned on sensate skin on relevant dermatomes. Usually tense paresthesia is directed into the painful area. Okay, although this is not appropriate if tactile allodynia is present because tense may aggravate the pain. I already explained you this. Alternate position are main nerve proximal to the site of pain, paravertebrally at appropriate segments or at contralateral mirror sites. Like motor stimulation, muscle stimulation, it's our treatment goal. Leads and electrodes, one lead per muscle with both electrodes on the same muscle. Two leads if it is a larger muscle or if the device has more than one head. Not monopolar or quadrupolar, not bipolar. Sensory stimulation, one or two leads depending on the size of the area. Use as many electrodes as possible to sensory stimulation. Here no quadrupolar, and one lead if only one lead, two electrode fits in the treatment area. Here no bipolar, monopolar या quadrupolar according to the size of the area. One lead with one electrode at the spinal nerve root and other in the sensory area. Here monopolar, not bipolar or quadrupolar. Like next is the delivery for the next is one lead, one electrode in the treatment area and other more. For the medical doses, okay, medical doses proximal to the affected. Okay, here no use of monopolar, only bipolar or quadrupolar. Terminology for configuration of electrode setup: monopolar, single electrode from one channel. Activate electrode placed directly over the target tissue, often smaller in size. Greatest perception will be over the target tissue. Bipolar, two electrode from one channel, usually equal size and shape. Patient will feel excitatory response under both electrodes. eliciting the motor responses, or electrode placed over motor points. Other electrode over muscle belly and may be larger. In quadripolar, electrodes from two or more channel each lead with the two electrodes. Interferential, large area like pain management, sensory stimulation, or large fibers. Here you see that for the NES machine, okay, not only for the TENS, in many cases like for the stimulators, you use this technique. Okay, you use this technique, monopolar, bipolar, quadripolar, how they work. A conventional TENS, a strong, non-painful electrical paresthesia is necessary. So the user is required to titrate TENS amplitude to the desired level. Patient should not use TENS in water or when operating hazardous machinery such as driving, like children as young as 4-year-old can tolerate TENS, providing that they are able to comprehend the instructions. Okay, and these are some placement areas, how to place. Okay, these can use in the stimulator also. Here you see the electrode placement for facial pain, trigeminal neuralgia, anginal pectoris, all pain, and you see the placements. What are the contraindications for the TENS therapy? Like pacemakers, cardiovascular problems, or in pregnancy, in epilepsy, inappropriate electrode sites, malignancy, dermatological condition. Inappropriate electrode site, what you understand that the TENS should not be applied over the anterior neck, as this may produce a hypertensive response, laryngeal spasm, or both. TENS should not be delivered over the eyes, as it may cause an increase in intraocular pressure. Dysesthesia, all these are the contraindicated parts. Then we proceed that the evidence for the clinical effectiveness. Okay, the articles which are published by the Royal College of Anesthesia identified that the patient satisfaction as a key target of performance. Many patients report satisfaction with the TENS treatment. Clinical experience suggests that TENS is useful as a stand-alone treatment for mild to moderate pain, and its combination with pharmacotherapy for moderate to severe pain. Clinical research is less convincing. The systemic review, I already discussed that systemic review is saying that the TENS can treat the chronic pain also, have been attributed to inadequate sample size, inappropriate TENS technique, and underdosing of TENS. Measuring outcome for TENS had been switched off, and using pain as an outcome when participants in sham and active TENS group had access to additional analgesic. Like this study is done for the when studies the systemic review saying that TENS is useful for the chronic pain. The study is saying that they use the analgesics, and the technique or the undergoing treatment, or the patients or the group of patient, age of patient, they are differ. Okay, so the systemic review of different studies are not that true for the chronic pain. Like post-operative pain, report that in post-operative pain conditions, what are the evidence for the TENS? Report that TENS reduce post-operative pain. Analgesics consumption were not confirmed by early systemic review. A subsequent meta-analysis of 21 RCT found a reduction in analgesic consumption in favor of TENS only when trial met criteria for adequate TENS technique. A coherent review of 24 RCTs concluded that stimulation of P6 acupoint on the wrist using acupuncture TENS and related stimulation technique was better than placebo in reducing nausea, vomiting within 6 hours of surgery. In condition of labor pain, the evidence are TENS is applied to area of the spinal cord that correspond to the input of nociceptive afferent associated with the first and second stage of labor. Despite favorable report from the particular patients and midwives, the systemic review on TENS and labor pain conclude that evidence for TENS analgesia during labor is weak. Two good qualities RCTs found that women favored active TENS compared with the sham TENS under double blind conditions. Sham treatment is the fall treatment. Okay. Other acute pain conditions like a coherent review found that TENS reduce symptoms of primary dysmenorrhea when administered using high frequency currents. RCT supports potential efficacy for angina. Acute orofacial pain, dental procedures, features, ribs, fractures, ribs, and acute lower back pain. There is insufficient good quality evidence to make definitive conclusion at present. In case of chronic pain, the clinical experience suggests that TENS may relieve any type of chronic pain, yet systemic review are inconclusive for chronic pain. Low back pain, cancer related pain, rheumatoid arthritis of the hand, post stroke shoulder pain, whiplash, mechanical neck disorder, chronic recurrent headache, meta-analysis for osteoarthritis knee pain, for chronic musculoskeletal pain have been more positive, suggesting that TENS is superior to the sham TENS for pain and stiffness. Non-randomized controlled trial clinical trial have found benefit for many types of chronic pain. Patient may need to administer TENS throughout the day to achieve best effects. What are the recent developments? The recent developments for the TENS is development in technology have resulted in a proliferation of TENS-like device on the market, including interferential current therapy, microcurrent electrical therapy, transcutaneous spinal electroanalgesia, H-wave therapy, pain gone, transcranial electrical stimulations, transcutaneous electrical acupoint stimulation, and many more. What all conclusion of the study which I found is that TENS is used extremely in healthcare because it is inexpensive, safe, and can be administered by patient themselves. Success depends on appropriate application. Systemic review have been compromised by poor quality RCTs. Better quality trials are needed to determine differences in effectiveness of different type of TENS and to compare cost effectiveness with other analgesic interventions. Very thankful to the Johnson M. who study about the transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation, and his team Watson's TL, and who study in 2008. Okay, and many more authors. This is not my study. I study so many articles and I conclude this TENS video. So thank to all the authors, and please like, share and subscribe my channel, and thanks to my viewers.